Joe Bucher stopped by recently and shared with us some great fishing tips. Joe, let's say you're going out fishing by yourself. You know, you don't have the luxury of having a partner that can throw a different type of bait. What makes you determine, I know there's a million factors, but what makes you determine, hey, I should be throwing a bucktail or maybe I should be throwing a crankbait today?
And that you said a mouthful there. There's a gazillion factors that go into play. You know, where am I fishing? What are the weather conditions? For example, if I've got a south wind blowing and there's a storm front in the mix somewhere, and I'm fishing in a lower pressure situation, I would probably want to test the area right away for a hot fish over the flats with a bucktail, with a spinner. So yeah, that would be a condition where the conditions and the situation, like, automatically I want to go with blades. Now, if I'm fishing post-frontal bluebird, I got a northwest wind, northeast wind, there isn't a cloud in the sky, the front rolled through a day or so ago, and I know the fish are going to be tight no matter where I'm fishing, then I'm more apt to fish a crankbait and go tight to cover. Another situation where I would more apt to fish a bucktail over a crankbait would be if I'm fishing real shallow stained water with a lot of weed cover. Pretty much in a situation like that, your best way to fish in a situation like that is to start out with a running gun fan cast over the flats, because the cover dictates you have to fish a blade bait. Now, next door you got a deep clear lake with the only weeds you got in that lake are deep, and for the most part a lot of your structure the spots you're going to fish in general are going to be deep and the water's clear. It begs for you to fish a crankbait right off the bat. So sometimes the water dictates it, sometimes the conditions dictate it, but you know, in general, you know, a lot comes into play, and when it's all said and done, make sure you've got both, so that, you know, if you test the spot quickly, if you're by yourself, if you look at any given spot, you know, you can go over the spot initially with a blade, fan casting perpendicular over the spot, and if you're not successful, just turn your boat around, go into what I call a perpendicular mode, grab the crankbait, now you fish the edge more coming back. And I do that a lot, by the way, when I'm fishing by myself, is to fan cast the spot initially with a blade, and you're fishing, you know, over top the spot, and then turn around and come along the edge fishing the crankbait.